Canada's federal minimum wage is expected to rise on April 1st, 2026, increasing from $17.75 to about $18.10 per hour. The increase is tied to inflation, using the annual Consumer Price Index, and the updated rate is typically confirmed by Employment and Social Development Canada in late February or March. Because the formula is automatic, the change does not require new legislation and usually follows a predictable calculation and rounding to the nearest 5 cents. Even with the new rate, a full-time worker at the projected wage would earn roughly $37,648 per year before taxes. After deductions, take-home pay is estimated around $32,000 to $33,000 annually, depending on the province. When compared to typical rent for a one-bedroom apartment, the numbers look tight across major cities. In Toronto and Vancouver, rent can consume nearly all monthly income, leaving little for food, transportation, and other essentials. Other cities such as Calgary, Montreal, Halifax, Ottawa, and Winnipeg appear more manageable, but rent still takes a large share of income. Comparison of the minimum wage to living wage estimates, which reflect the income needed to cover basics like housing, groceries, transit, childcare, and participation in community life. In every region listed, the projected federal minimum wage remains below the living wage. The gap ranges from roughly $4 to nearly $10 per hour, depending on location. In practical terms, the article suggests a minimum wage worker in high-cost regions would need to work close to 50 hours per week or more to match what a living wage would provide at a standard work week. The federal minimum wage covers workers in federally regulated sectors such as banking, telecommunications, broadcasting, air transportation, rail, interprovincial trucking, marine shipping, postal and courier services, pipelines, nuclear energy, certain federal crown corporations, and grain handling. Most workers follow provincial rules instead. A key protection is that if a provincial minimum wage is higher than the federal rate, employers must pay the higher amount. The policy is stable and predictable, but it is not a living wage in many places. The increase helps protect earnings from inflation and provides a modest boost for workers near the minimum, yet it does not solve the wider affordability crunch driven by housing and other rising costs.